Hello and welcome to livealittlehigher.com. This week we continue with Joseph in Parasha Miketz, which means at the end. And the parasha starts saying at the end of 2 years it happened that Pharaoh was dreaming, and look, he was standing by the Nile. And it starts telling us the two dreams that Pharaoh had. One dream was about 7 fat cows and seven skinny cows, and they're pasting together, and suddenly the skinny cows come and they eat the fat cows. And then he fell asleep again. He woke up, he was very scared, and he fell asleep again. And he dreamed again, and look, 7 healthy and good ears of grain were growing on one stalk, and look, 17 ears of grain parched by the east wind were growing up after them. And then the thin ears of grain swallowed up the 7 healthy ears of grain. So Pharaoh wakes up, and he's very in commotion because of these 2 dreams. And he calls all the sages of his land to come, the wise men, the magicians, to come and interpret his dreams, and he's not happy about this. And the parasha starts saying at the end of 2 years, because it's talking about the 2 extra years that Joseph had to stay in prison after he interpreted the dreams of the winemaker and the bread maker. And he said to the wine butcher of the king to please remember of him. And because of this, he had to stay 2 more years in jail. And at the end of these 2 years, this the wine butler remembered Joseph, and he came to Pharaoh and he says, there was a guy in prison, that one of these Jewish boys, that he interpreted my dream, and it came true. So he's summoned into a Pharaoh, and in a blink of an eye, he's out of jail. And this interpretation, it's a little bit messianic, because when we're in galut, when we're in exile, everything seems like we're in a prison. We're not free. We're not really free. And it says that when Mashiach comes, it's going to be like in the blink of an eye. Like in a second, we'll get out of whatever trouble we're in, of the pain we're living, and in a minute, everything's going to be fine. So this is what happened to Joseph. He was taken out of prison. He was brought, he was cleaned, he was shaven, they cut his hair, they put beautiful clothes on him, and he was brought to the Pharaoh to interpret his dreams. And something revolutionary happened here. Joseph said to Pharaoh that what was going on in his dreams is that it's actually one dream. It's not 2 separate dreams. Both dreams have the same meaning, and the meaning of the dreams was that there's going to be 7 good years, and after that, 7 years of famine, of horrible famine, are going to come to the land. And something incredible happened, which is what made him stand apart from the other wise men that went to Pharaoh. It was that not only did he interpret the dreams, but he gave a solution to Pharaoh to what was to be done with the 7 years of plenty and the 7 years of famine. And this is what set him apart from the rest of the interpreters of dreams. The other people, they knew this is what the dream meant. They didn't say it because they thought, like, how are we going to get out of this? But Joseph was able to see through Ruach HaKodesh, because Hashem spoke to him through this, that actually there was a way out. So he told Pharaoh that he should, in the 7 years of plenty, the people should stock. They shouldn't eat everything that was being produced. They should stock in warehouses the wheat. So when the years of famine came, they had plenty of food for themselves. And not only did they have plenty of food for themselves, they had plenty of food for the whole world. Actually, Joseph saved the whole world of famine. And from here we see that Hashem really had a plan for him, that he came to Egypt in a very not nice way, but actually that was part of his plan. And Hashem took him out of jail exactly at the time that he had to be taken out. If he would have left 2 years before, maybe he wouldn't have had the opportunity to become the Viceroy of Egypt, which this is what happened. He became the second in command to Pharaoh. And Rabbi Josie Jacobson gives very good interpretation of these pasuks, and based on the Lubavitcher Rebbe, and he says that in the 7 years of plenty, like in life, sometimes we do have very good years. Most of our life, thank God, we could say it's good times. We're healthy, we have beautiful families, we have a job, we have a home, we have clothes, and we're living good times. And in these times, we should really concentrate on what's important in life. And what's important in life are our relationships, our relationship with our parents, our relationship with our husbands, our wives, our children. Also to build up on our relationship with Hashem, do more Torah, learn more Torah, do more mitzvahs. When things are going right, it's easy to connect. When things are not going right, it's not so easy to connect. And at that moment that we have a time of famine in our lives, if we have already worked on this part of our life, of our relationships and our midots, in our character traits, then God forbid, when hard times come, we're prepared. We're prepared in the sense that we are built up and we will be able to sustain them with integrity and strength. And what's most important to us is the people around us that really care for us, and this is what gives us the strength to continue and go on and be able to rebuild ourselves. But if in good times we're spending our time in stupidity and spending the resources in wasting them away, and we're not really building up ourselves in these areas of our lives, then the day that we crash down, we're in trouble. We saw it in 2008 when so many young people that became billionaires from one day to the next in the Wall Street market, and suddenly everything crashed down and their whole lives were destroyed, because in the times of plenty, they were not working on their spiritual life. They were not working on their relationships and in what's important in life. They were just buying nice cars and traveling all over the world and eating big steaks in great restaurants. And by the time that the crash came, they were empty inside. There was nothing there. So this is something that Joseph HaTzadik comes to teach us, and it's a very important lesson. Also, connecting this parasha Miketz with Hanukkah, which we're celebrating this week, we can come to understand the same concept with the menorah. Every day we light one extra candle and we build up the light through the 8 days. This is the way that we have to build up. Every day we have to give a little more. We have to do a little more. We have to learn a little more. We have to do a little more. And in this way, we're going to be raising up, raising up, raising up until the moment that we are a complete menorah full of light. And in the times of the Maccabees, we see how the Jewish people were going through such hard times of assimilation, darkness, persecution, but they were able to come out whole because they were able to connect. They were connected to the source, and this is what this parasha really is telling us. This part of the parasha is that we should always be connected to our source, no matter what, in the good times, in the bad times. But it's easier to connect in the good times. We're more grateful and we're more at ease with ourselves, and we should be working on that, and hopefully never have to go through bad times. We should always be in good times, and always be growing and expanding ourselves. So I want to wish you a good week, a happy week, a blessed week, a beautiful, bright week, and live a little higher. Thank you.